Fighter jets have been crucial in shaping modern warfare, combining speed, agility, and advanced technology to dominate the skies. These aircraft are built for combat, often serving as both defenders and attackers during military operations. In this video, we'll explore 6 incredible fighter jets that have made history. Each jet stands out for its unique design, groundbreaking capabilities, and the role it played in key conflicts. Join us as we dive into the stories behind these crazy aircraft that changed the battlefield. The Junkers Ju-87, also known as the Stuka, was a German dive bomber used during World War II. Its name, Stuka, comes from the German word Stutzkampfflugzeug, which means dive bomber. This aircraft became infamous for its terrifying sound and precision bombing capabilities. The Stuka had a unique design with inverted gull wings and fixed landing gear. It was powered by an 1100 horsepower Junkers Jumo engine, which gave it a top speed of about 255 miles per hour. One of its most striking features was the wailing siren, nicknamed the Jericho trumpet. This sound was intentionally added to scare enemy soldiers and civilians during bombing runs. The Ju-87 was highly effective in the early stages of the war, especially during the invasions of Poland and France. It could dive almost vertically, allowing pilots to drop bombs with remarkable accuracy. Its robust airframe and dive brakes helped it withstand the stress of steep dives. However, the Stuka had weaknesses. It was slow and not very maneuverable, making it easy prey for faster, more agile enemy fighters like the British Spitfire. By the later years of the war, improved Allied air defenses and better fighter planes made the Stuka less effective on the battlefield. Despite its limitations, the Ju-87 remains one of the most recognizable planes of World War II. Its impact on early German victories and its psychological effect on enemies made it a symbol of Germany's blitzkrieg tactics. The FW-190A8 was a powerful and important German fighter plane used during World War II. Designed by Focke-Wulf, it was introduced in 1944 and became one of the Luftwaffe's most effective aircraft. The FW-190A8 was also known for its rugged build, strong firepower, and versatility, making it a favorite among German pilots. This plane was powered by a BMW 801 radial engine, producing 1,700 horsepower. It could reach speeds of up to 408 miles per hour and had a range of about 500 miles. The FW-190A8 was armed with 2 13mm machine guns and 4 20mm cannons, giving it impressive firepower for dogfights and ground attacks. It was also capable of carrying bombs, making it useful for attacking enemy ground targets. One of the key features of the A8 version was its improved armor. The plane was equipped with extra protection for the pilot and vital systems, helping it survive in tough battles. This made it highly reliable in combat, even when facing heavy enemy fire. Additionally, the FW-190A8 could carry different weapons, including rockets, allowing it to adapt to various missions. However, by 1941, the Allies had introduced advanced planes like the P-51 Mustang and the Spitfire Mark IX, which could compete with and sometimes outperform the FW-190A8. The plane's heavier weight, due to added armor and weapons, made it slightly less agile than earlier versions, but it remained a formidable fighter. The FW-190A8 played a crucial role in defending Germany against Allied bombing raids. It was often used to intercept bombers and protect ground troops. While it couldn't completely stop the Allies, it left a significant mark on the air battles of World War II. Today, the FW-190A8 is remembered as one of the most iconic and effective aircraft of the war. The Bf-109F Messerschmitt, introduced in 1941, was one of Germany's most advanced fighter planes during World War II. Built by Messerschmitt AG, the Bf-109 series had already made a name for itself as a deadly and effective fighter. The F model, often nicknamed Friedrich, brought significant improvements in design, speed, and performance, making it a fearsome weapon in the skies. One of the most striking changes in the Bf-109F was its aerodynamic design. The plane featured a rounded nose, improved wings, and a sleeker profile compared to earlier models. These upgrades reduced drag, allowing the Bf-109F to reach speeds of up to 390 miles per hour. This was critical for dogfights, where speed and agility could mean the difference between life and death. Pilots appreciated its handling, describing it as smoother and more balanced than earlier models. The Bf-109F was powered by the Daimler-Benz DB601E engine, which gave it excellent climbing ability and high-altitude performance. This made it ideal for intercepting enemy bombers and engaging Allied fighters. It was also armed with a 20mm cannon mounted on the nose and two 7.92mm machine guns above the engine. This combination of firepower allowed pilots to take down both heavily armored bombers and more agile fighter planes. Despite its strengths, the Bf-109F had its challenges. The plane's narrow landing gear made it tricky to land, especially on rough airstrips. Its small fuel tank also limited its range, forcing pilots to rely on nearby bases or risk running out of fuel during missions. Additionally, as Allied aircraft improved, the Bf-109F began to face tougher competition in the later years of the war. The Bf-109F played a key role in several major battles, including the Eastern Front and the skies over North Africa. It was flown by some of the most famous aces of the war, like Hans Joachim Marseille, who achieved most of his 158 victories in the Friedrich. Its impact on the war cemented its legacy as one of the most iconic fighter planes of all time. In conclusion, the Bf-109F Messerschmitt was a remarkable aircraft that pushed the limits of design and performance in its era. Though it had its flaws, its speed, agility, and firepower made it a formidable opponent in the hands of skilled pilots. Even today, it stands as a symbol of engineering excellence and aerial combat during World War II. The Henkel He-219 Uhu, also called the Owl, was a German fighter plane used during World War II. It was a night fighter, which means it was designed to fight in the dark. This made it very important for the Luftwaffe, the German Air Force, because they needed a plane that could attack enemy bombers flying at night. The He-219 was introduced in 1943, and even though only a small number were built, it was advanced for its time. The He-219 was one of the first planes in the world to have radar built into it. Radar is a system that uses radio waves to detect objects, like enemy planes. With radar, the He-219 could find enemy bombers in the dark or through clouds. This gave it a huge advantage because it didn't have to rely on sight alone. The plane was also equipped with powerful weapons, including cannons that could bring down large bombers quickly. Another thing that made the He-219 special was its speed. It was one of the fastest night fighters of the war, with a top speed of around 370 miles per hour. Its engines were powerful, and its sleek design helped it move quickly through the air. It also had a pressurized cockpit, which kept the pilot comfortable at high altitudes. This was rare at the time and showed how advanced the plane was. The He-219 was also the first operational aircraft to have an ejection seat. This was a safety system that allowed the pilot to escape if the plane was damaged or shot down. The pilot could pull a lever, and the seat would shoot them out of the plane, giving them a chance to parachute to safety. This feature saved many lives and was an important step forward in aviation technology. Despite all these impressive features, the He-219 had problems. It was expensive and difficult to build, so not many were made. Only about 300 of these planes were built by the end of the war. This meant the Luftwaffe didn't have enough of them to make a big difference. Additionally, the war was already turning against Germany by the time the He-219 was introduced, so it didn't have much time to prove itself. The He-219 Uhu is remembered today as one of the most advanced planes of World War II. It showed what was possible with new technology and inspired many designs that came after it. While it didn't change the outcome of the war, it remains a symbol of innovation in aviation history. Before we go on to talk about the other fighter jets on our list, please like this video and subscribe to learn more about fighter jets like this. The Dornier Do-335 Pfeil, also known as the Arrow, was a unique and advanced German fighter plane from World War II. It was developed by the Dornier Company in the early 1940s and stood out because of its unusual design and high speed. Unlike most airplanes of the time, it had two engines, but instead of mounting them side by side, they were arranged in a push-pull configuration. This meant one engine was in the nose, pulling the plane forward, and the other was at the rear, pushing it. This setup gave the Do-335 excellent speed and performance for its time. The Do-335 could reach speeds of up to 474 miles per hour, making it one of the fastest piston-engine aircraft of the war. Its sleek design and powerful engines allowed it to outperform many Allied planes. It was versatile too. It could serve as a bomber, reconnaissance plane, or fighter. The plane was also equipped with heavy weaponry, such as a 30mm cannon and two 20mm cannons, making it a dangerous opponent in the skies. One of the most impressive features of the Do-335 was its ejection seat. This was rare for World War II planes and was necessary because the rear propeller made it dangerous for pilots to bail out. The designers also included explosive bolts to detach the rear propeller and tail fin during emergencies, ensuring the pilot's safety. Despite its advanced technology, the DO-335 had several challenges. It was expensive and complicated to build, which slowed down production. By the time it was ready for combat, Germany was losing the war, and only about 40 units were completed. As a result, it didn't have a significant impact on the war. After the war, the Allies were impressed by the DO-335's design and performance. They studied it closely, and it influenced the development of post-war aircraft. Today, one surviving DO-335 can be seen at the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum in the United States, serving as a reminder of the remarkable engineering achievements of the time. The Dornier DO-335 file remains a symbol of innovation and ambition in aviation history. Its speed, unique design, and advanced features make it one of the most fascinating aircraft ever built, even though it was introduced too late to change the course of the war. The Focke-Wulf TA-152 was a German fighter aircraft used during World War II. Designed by Kurt Tank, the TA-152 was an advanced, high-altitude plane built to give Germany an edge late in the war. It was an improvement on the earlier Focke-Wulf FW-190, with better speed, firepower, and performance at high altitudes. One of the most impressive features of the TA-152 was its powerful engine, the UMO 213E, which could generate over 1,750 horsepower. With an additional MW50 boost system that could inject a water-methanol mixture, it could temporarily increase engine power, allowing the plane to reach speeds of up to 469 miles per hour. This made it one of the fastest piston-engine aircraft of its time. The plane also had a pressurized cockpit to protect the pilot when flying at high altitudes, where the air was thin. The TA-152 came in a few different versions, with the TA-152H being the most well-known. This version was designed specifically for high-altitude combat, where it could take on enemy bombers and fighters. It had long, sleek wings that helped it perform better at high altitudes. The aircraft was heavily armed with one 30mm Mk108 cannon and two 20mm MG151 cannons, making it a dangerous opponent in battle. However, the TA-152 was introduced very late in the war, around 1945, when Germany was already struggling to keep its factories running and its air force operational. As a result, only a small number of these planes were built, and they didn't have a big impact on the war. Many German pilots didn't even have the chance to train on the TA-152 before being sent into combat. Despite its limited use, the TA-152 is remembered as a remarkable piece of engineering. Its advanced features and incredible performance showed how far aviation technology had come during the war. Today, only one TA-152 survives, and is preserved in a museum, reminding us of the innovation and challenges of that era. And with that, we've come to the end of our video. We hope you learned something new. To learn more about recent developments in the world of fighter jets, please subscribe to this channel, and we'll see you in our next video.